making the state change using a permission slip in this video. So I just wanted to make a video about like the state change, right? This is like the enlightenment side of spirituality is like this identification to the point of completely letting go of all identity, I think. And then the empowerment side is basically making more of the relative world. And I think the making more of the relative world means to make a state change, like believe that I can manifest more excitement in my life. And obviously there are certain routes there. One of it is like shadow work, and others are like just basically believing in it, that it's possible, and then pushing through. And for the second method, a lot of the times like permission slips are useful. Like, let's say if I win the lottery, I might use that as a permission slip to feel like I'm blessed, I'm lucky, and life is going good, right? Or certain other cool things that happen, like I get a promotion or whatever, or I have a new love situation or whatever. But I think the actual mechanics is like I make the state change within myself, right? And I can kind of use permission slips to then make the inner state change, right? So if I win the lottery and I don't make the inner state change, then there's no real state change. Then I just probably lose the money or will be unhappy even with the money, right? But if I do make the state change, then the lottery win would serve as a permission slip to really better my life long term, by becoming more powerful, by becoming more self-sourced, and believing that I can create my life from within in a more dynamic, forward-moving way, right? And so I just wanted to talk about one of these possible permission slips, which is like courses, right? So if I make a course or go to school, then this could be a permission slip to feel like I am capable to be somebody, or to have a certain lifestyle, or have a certain income, or have a certain work-life balance that makes me happy. And so one of these possible permission slips in my life is coming up in October. There's going to be a course for men in Austria from the 13th to the 20th. And I think it's a great possibility to use that as a permission slip. Not to like go there passively and say, well, let's see what they talk about. Let's see how good the food is. But more like, okay, I can go there, I can pay the money to be there, to then really take that as an invitation into more empowerment and more self-sourcing moving forward in my life, right? So I think there's a beautiful opportunity coming up in October for men. Mark and Dennis will guide and lead it, and we also have backup teachers kind of there, and we have food, and we have beautiful surrounding, and we have a huge house with a grill and a fireplace, and we can play games or whatever. But I think the real motivation for this retreat can be that it's just, I just go there and I just trust myself more. I can kind of make the state change. I can kind of go there a bit like a little bit more proactive, a little bit more initiatory, a little bit more confident than I was when I went there before, right? And of course, if you can make the state change without a retreat or without a lottery win or without a love interest, that would be ideal, because then it's even faster. But I think these kind of retreats can be just very useful in that, using it as a permission slip and giving it to myself as a love, like a self-love thing. Like I love myself to the point where I spent like 2,000 euros to then trust myself to make the state change, right? And so even though it seems like I'm kind of giving resources into it, and so I have like later have less resources than before, I believe that I'm actually investing in my own abundance, and the return of investment is more abundance. It might not be financial abundance, but it could be. But it's more so, I think, abundance of trusting myself and then moving quicker through life without needing so many negative catalysts, and more surfing the positive catalysts. Even if it's just 1% or 0.1%, that's already a huge difference actually. I mean, you could also make the journey from zero to hero, and right, but I think it's more like I reward myself for small steps, like a small state change, a small gain in confidence, a small gain in trusting myself. That's already huge. That's already worth way more than 2,000 euros in the long term. And so yeah, I can recommend permission slips. I can also recommend having no permission slips and still making the state change. But if you want to use a permission slip, like as a man, I can really recommend this retreat coming up in October, and I will link the landing page below.